Hi, I want to make a quick demo of continuous integration with a server's wercker. I don't know how to spell that name, but never know. I want to create an application. I'm going to build this application from GitHub, and it's a public application, so get next. It's gonna be a public repo finished. Add a new one. This pipeline gonna need deploy. In YAML file, it's called deploy too, so it's a hook tape pipeline. Let's create. I'm gonna create an environment variable called git token, and this is the value protected. Add. Okay. Now we have a variable named git token that's do not appear here because it's protected, and we're gonna manage workflow again. I'm gonna, after the build, if he is in the master branch, we're gonna deploy. So the build, it's the default pipeline. It's gonna happen for each commit, and the deploy was gonna happen only in the master branch. Now what I want to do is that the build cannot happen on the G8 page, because what's gonna happen, the G8 page branch will be created on the deploy. So if I do not ignore it here, and the workflow will enter in a loop, because it will deploy to the same branch on the same repository, and it's gonna build again, and it's gonna enter in an infinite loop. And not infinite, because the build will not execute on the G8 branch. And now I'm gonna enter in shared. I'm gonna copy this markdown, and I want to put that markdown in the index.md for my project. Now in my project I have a wercker.yum, and I have a custom Docker image that I build for creating builds. And the script, the build step is really simple. It's just execute the Gradle build, and the next thing it creates the docs with mkdocs project. And when it deploy, it's gonna use a hook, a custom hook that I have customized. You can use it, and it's gonna deploy to the repo. I need to change the repo that it will deploy. Let's take that's the name of the repo here, and gonna use the git token as an environment variable, and the base dir is the site. The mkdocs generates a site dir here. So let's see if that's gonna work. One of the best parts of wercker, we can test local. So if you use wercker build, we're gonna run the build step, and this is gonna be run on Docker images. I'm using Mac here, so I don't have the Docker and not natively installed, and I have the Docker machine to run the Docker build. And if you are using Mac or Windows, you should check Docker machine to run Docker in a virtual machine. And it's gonna build the project, and right now my Git is telling me that there's a lot of new files here, so we're gonna ignore them. And these files are created by dog did wercker builds sketch projects and steps. Okay, let's check. It's good. So update that. Added wercker build. We're gonna let that finish it, and the build steps pass in run tests and a lot of other things. I configured the Docker file to use a cache here. So if you see that I export a Gradle user home to be a cache here, and if I run again, it should not download the dependencies. This is quite nice to have. And yes, it do not download the dependencies. And I could run the deploy step here, just change it, but I will let the continuous integration run. So and let's go. I need to add that. Let's get the message again. Git log added wercker build, and I'm gonna amend the commit. Okay, so let's push to a developer branch. I want to show something. Check out times b develop git branch d p, and so what gonna happen, I create a new branch called development, and this branch gonna trigger a build, but it will only trigger the build. It will not trigger the deploy docs. So when this branch finishes, I want to create a pull request here, and just create the pull request, and wercker is building the project. So when the project builds, and GitHub will be notified here, and it's gonna take a while, so let's cut it. The build is finished, and we should see here, we can see the logs for the build, and we can go to GitHub. We have nice links here, and should see the run, and it's okay. We can see the logs here for each step of the build. And now I'm gonna merge the pull request, and I'm gonna merge using a squash merge. That doesn't matter, but let's confirm squash. And now we should try another build, but this time it has a deploy, the deploy tab. And when the deploy finish, we should see the page on GitHub page. Spring. Okay, we should see some information. This page will be updated, and let's just cut this thing. The build was finished and deploy, but I made a mistake here. Let's check out. And in the deploy of the page, it says that cannot find the repository. There's no repository with that name. So I correct that, and I run the build again, and we have a green bar. Now if you get the page and refresh, you should see the page deployed. And spring, and that's it. We have the new page here. I hope you enjoy.